Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Charlie. This is my first ever speed build, and it's also my first ever attempt at editing a video or uploading anything to YouTube. So I hope I've done alright and I hope you enjoy it. For the look of the build, I was trying to go for a postmodern kind of look, and here I'm working with half walls, trying to create a bit of a contrast in height. Because we can't use different heights of walls on the same level, so I'm just really trying to create this look using half walls, trying to cheat it a little bit. To achieve the postmodern vibe that I'm going for, I'm using a lot of painted brick and a lot of concrete, because these were the materials used mostly in the 80s, which is the era I'm trying to aim for. So when I added the doors and windows, I think I tried about 50 different types. There's so many options with all the packs, and I couldn't really find the right ones to fit the build. But I ended up going for some nice big open windows to let a lot of light in, because I'm not using a lot of them in the build, just because that wouldn't really fit the vibe that I was going for. So the few windows that I did choose, they really needed to flood light in, otherwise it would just look like a bit of a cave really. So here I'm working on the kitchen, and I'm using these royal blue counters to add a splash of colour, because the outside is very grey and very muted, so I thought we'd need something just to liven the inside up a little bit. And what I'm doing now is I'm creating a bit of an interesting island shape. I thought it'd be a bit of an eye catcher. It's not really something that I'd thought of doing before until I watched a YouTube video by Kate Emerald, who has loads of brilliant tutorials, and I've actually learned a lot from watching her channel. So I've included this in a couple of my builds now, just creating different interesting shapes, just so you've got a bit of an eye catcher in the kitchen. Now I'm working with the lighting. I probably should have done this at the start, before I started putting the counters in and everything, because you can't really see what's going on. Now I'm just adding in some strip lighting underneath the cabinets. I'd probably do this in most of my builds, just because I like the effect it gives of reflecting light from underneath and having it bounce off the counters. Now I'm just adding this little bench. I think it's an accent table. I'm just merging that into the counter, so I've got somewhere to add a bit of clutter, because I love having clutter in my builds. It's probably my most favourite part about building, is adding all the clutter and making it really look lived in. I think it just adds a more realistic aspect to any build. Now I'm using my favourite object from any pack in The Sims, and that is the Marvellous Marbled Accent Table. I probably use this in every build that I do, and it's great for just putting it anywhere. I sometimes use it as headboards, or I put it behind sofas, or just use it for its intended purpose, which is an accent table, just so I can place some clutter. Now I'm working on the bathroom, and I've used a few objects from Spa Day, which is I probably get the most use out of the Spa Day pack when it comes to furnishing and stuff, just because I like the vibe that it's got, and it's all very clean and polished, so I just utilise that in most of my builds. This is the living stroke workspace for the sim that lives here. Here I've created a corner sofa using the sofa from the Machino stuff pack. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've heard people say Moschino, people say Machino. Little Simsy says mosquito, so who knows. But I find that sofa and the chair that goes with it go together really well to create a corner sofa quite easily, and it doesn't really glitch or anything like that, so that's what I generally use it for. Like I said earlier, this is the workspace, which is included in the living space for this sim, because I kind of imagine whoever lives here to be self-employed, maybe they're a freelance writer, who knows, but that's what they do in that workspace. So now we're working on the bedroom, and I've remembered to put the lighting in first so we can see what's going on. I've faced the bed so it's pointing at the window, because I think that's quite nice. The sim that lives here has got quite a nice view when they wake up in the morning. And on the back of the bed I've placed a room divider, and I've put a TV on it. Just because I think it's quite a nice use of the space. It's got a sofa behind it for your sim to watch TV. And now I'm just finishing up this space with some clutter, some accent tables and some plants, just to give it that lived in kind of feel. And now that's nearly the end of this video. I actually forgot to screen record when I was doing the landscaping, which was really annoying. But you can see that in some of the shots after the speed build. I hope you've enjoyed my first ever attempt at editing a video and doing a speed build. If you have, then please comment. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye guys.